Well, hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Sam. I am a student of the Bible. I'm a pastor. I've been a pastor for 22 years, and I'm a writer. And my training involves biblical studies, theology, and biblical languages. So our church has been walking through the book of John with the I am statements. And one of the ones that I get to cover at the end of the series is that I am the resurrection and the life, Jesus says in John 11. And it hinges all on the story of Lazarus, and he dies. Jesus shows up after he's been dead for 4 days, and Lazarus' sisters, Martha and Mary, both individually come out and speak to Jesus. And the I am statement happens when Martha is talking to Jesus. And so I want to read this because I think there's a missed opportunity that English translators, I've checked every single translation, and every single one of them, it almost translates this the exact same way. And I know why they do it, but I think there's a missed opportunity here. Okay, so I'm going to grab my notes here to make sure that I say exactly the way I wanted to say it. Those are here. But John chapter 11, we're going to start at verse 21. It says this. It says, Lord, Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now God will give you whatever you ask. Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. Martha answered, I know he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. So she's like, theologically, I understand what you're talking about. Jesus said to her, almost like saying to her, no, I have a better solution for you. He says, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live even though they die. And whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this? Now, and then her reply is, yes, Lord, she replied, I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who has come into the world. And so let's stop there. He talks to Mary. He weeps, he opens up the grave, and he says, Lazarus, come forth, and Lazarus raises from the dead. What a cool story, right? So here's what I wanted to point out. What I wanted to point out was that in the actual, the Greek here, the wording is a little different. And I know why the English translators translate it this way. I get the grammar behind it all and why you would do this, but it's actually different. In a couple different places, I want to point out some things. Okay, so verse 26 is what I want to talk about, okay? So it says this in the Greek. It says, kai pas hozoe kai pestuvon. I don't remember how to say the EU yet. The old way is pistuon. Esemi, me apothane, es ton iona, pistuies totu. And so what it means is, and all whoever lives and believes in me, and then ume is a double negative, not. Okay, so it's like a doubling down on not. Will surely not die. Okay, and apothane is like will die. It's the verb is in that. And then there's these three words. So in the English language, it says, the one who believes in me, even though they die. The one who believes in me will live even though they die. And whoever lives by believing in me, verse 26, and whoever lives by believing in me is NIV. Other translations say whoever lives and believes in me, which is a little more correct to the Greek. It says will never die, which it's kind of there, except it's will never, no, not ever die. But then there's these three Greek words here. Es ton iona, which means unto the age. And what English translators do is they take these four words, es ton iona, and then this whole idea of dying, and then the ume is they're kind of into this double negative, and then they take those three words, they like mush them all together and translate them never. You will never die. The problem with that is that if you read that in English, it seems like Jesus is saying, listen, if you believe in me, you're never going to die. The way that it should read, though, if you're going to read it correctly, is like, whoever lives and believes in me, not will die. Like you will never die unto the age, meaning this, essentially, you will not die forever. What Jesus is trying to say is that the one who lives and believes in me will not die forever, which goes along with what he's saying, that I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, even though they die, they're going to live. And the one who lives and believes in me will never die forever. So that's I think it's a missed opportunity for the English translators to help understand what Jesus is trying to get at here, and what he's trying to say to Martha. And then he says, do you believe this? Pistues tautu, like, are you persuaded of this? Are you convinced of this? Believe, pistuo is this word that means I believe, but it also means I trust. It means I'm confident of, I'm persuaded of. It's that kind of a connotation behind it. I think what Jesus is trying to say literally is, do you trust me? And she says, I do. I do believe, she says. Yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who has come into the world. Now, the word she used there for believe is the same word, pistuo, but it's in a different form. It's pepistuka. And what it means, or pepistevka, I think is how the new way you say it. And it is in, I want to say it's in the perfect, no, it is in the perfect indicative active. Yep, that's what it is. Which means it's like in the completed present, meaning that I believe now, but I've completed that thought process. I've already believed that. I'm already convinced of that. So Jesus is saying, do you trust me? And she's saying, yes, of course I trust you. I've always trusted you. I've already decided that in my life. I already know who you are. I've already decided who you are. She is resolute in what she believes, in what she's decided about who Jesus is. And that's why Jesus doesn't say anything after that to her. And she just goes and she finds Mary. And Mary, who is normally more of the spiritually sensitive one, just breaks down and is bawling and crying. Martha is resolute. Martha is not, she's maybe sad, but doesn't say that she's weeping and crying like Mary. And that emotional, so Martha's resoluteness of her decision, of her confidence in who Jesus is, makes Jesus smile. But Mary's broken heart breaks Jesus' heart. And so that's why it says that he's troubled and he weeps, and he then goes, and after that. So it's this both and of human emotion. I think it's this beautiful picture of the human emotion of Jesus. So I think that the English translators maybe missed an opportunity. They didn't translate it wrong. I think they just missed an opportunity to be really clear about what Jesus is trying to say here, and how he's trying to tell her who he is, but she's like, I already know. So anyway, thought that was cool. Thought that I'd pass that along. Hey, give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.